What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Chig coming at you with another World of Warcraft guide. I haven't done one in a while. I've been playing on TBC Classic to get ready for Wrath and leveling a Paladin for myself. I couldn't find any good videos that could give you a solid, easy way to do the BM trash farm on a Paladin because they never gave like any clear answers on anything, or they told you just to get good and not get dazed. So I decided to take it upon myself to figure out the math on everything, to how to not get dazed, and how to have a decent kill phase and enough spell power to do it. Part of this, we're using Flask of Blinding Light, which is not super expensive on my server, and we're also using Brilliant Wizard Oil, or Superior Wizard Oil, I guess. Um, yeah, Superior Wizard Oil. So we got a total of 270 spell power, so it's freaking amazing, and 440 defense. You can get a lot of defense really easily because there's a couple of pieces that have like 50, so I got a chest piece and a helmet, and then you just fill in where you can to get your defense to 440, because 440 you cannot be dazed in the Black Morass because the highest level mob is level 68. The formula is level times 5 plus 100. So the daze mechanic cannot happen at 440. So the way I do the pull is different than anybody's I've seen either. I do two concentric circles. So everybody's like, go do this, do that, because they're trying to dodge things, they're trying to do this, that, and the other. I'm just throwing on Crusader Aura. I'm running around in two circles, and I'll show you what I do. I stay on the outside of the river the first time around, and obviously you want to try to not get hit, but the reason you get dazed when you're doing this normally is the stealth boys, right? So when you have enough defense to not get dazed, when you hit the stealth boys, you don't get dazed. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to show you the pull. I may or may not talk a little bit while I'm doing it, depends on what pops up, but in the meantime, we can talk about some of the things that come out of doing this. One of the big things is the spider silk because it sells super good, and yeah, we like selling stuff that sells good, right? On my server currently on Mandrake, they're going for almost 4 gold a pop, and I made about 400 bucks getting 2 levels. It's been amazing, and by bucks I mean gold, obviously. But for the most part, we're just going to run around in circles, and by circles I mean 2 of them. Haha. But yeah, we run around here, you grab everything. So after you do this enough, you kind of know where the mobs spawn, right? Like you get to the point where if you don't see a spider or crocodile somewhere, you just go, oh, alright, there's a stealthy boy. And I can show you some examples of that in here in just a second. Right here is one of the big ones. That spider is normally a stealthy boy. So first big thing here, you want to go wide because you don't want to trigger Medivh. You trigger Medivh, the thing starts and you can't actually do the dungeon. So we're about halfway through the first part of the pull, which is a huge, huge, huge pain in the butt because it's the one that takes the longest. It takes about 6 minutes altogether to do the full pull. You want to try to be as efficient as possible on this part because the other part is the easy part. As far as the kill phase goes, there's one part of the kill phase that's a pain in the butt, and I'll explain that when we get to it a little more. So right there, see, stealthy boy, we got him before he stealth, but if it was a spider or something, obviously you're going to see it. And that time we actually saw the jaguar. When you're in the kill phase is super easy, barely an inconvenience, until, and I do mean until, you get to the point where mobs slow down because their health is too low. And then they start to split. And as a paladin, you have a little bit of a get out of jail free card for when the mobs split because you can bubble and let them stack and do a little burst phase at the same time. I'll show you that when we get to it. But that's the most frustrating thing, and since we don't have a slow, see there's a stealthy boy, since we don't have a slow like hunters and mages do when they're doing this grind, it makes it a little harder for us to actually control the mobs when we're trying to do the kill phase. Almost done with the first loop here. So you'll notice there are a couple places that have a higher density of mobs. I mean, that's just something to keep in mind. So we got all of the first ones, so we're just going to basically run in to the next part of the circle, which is going to be right here. And now we're going to hit all the little islands on the way through. And we're going to try to pick up all the mobs on the little islands. So your instincts are going to be, when you get hit by a spider, to cleanse the thing if you get it. Don't cleanse the thing. That's going to dismount you. You're going to get smacked, and you're not going to be able to survive. But, that being said, the spiders are the only ones you really need to try to go wide on. Everything else, if it hits you, you've got 440 defense. You're not getting dismounted. We don't care. A lot of this, too, you'll see I ran past a lot of mobs when we were doing this that I didn't aggro with my face. And the reason being is because they're going to social aggro from the other mobs that are following me. They don't always. If you're getting more than 100 mobs, you're doing fine. Normally, I get between 120 and 133. Everybody else that I've heard do this farm talks about, well, there's 125 mobs in the instance. That's not true. I've gotten 136. I know there are more than 125. You know, obviously I'm going to miss some stealth boys sometimes because I don't know where every mob is all the time because they patrol a little bit. But for the most part, we get the majority of the mobs, and the ones that are in your path, as you can see, you definitely want to run to them, right? Like, there is no harm in taking an extra 15 seconds to run over and snag that mob, especially when it's going to give you an extra 600 XP. I'm going to be getting spammed with thousands on this run in particular because I'm rested. I was gone for work and stuff yesterday. Hearthed back to Morass, did all that. I would highly recommend setting yourself up with consumables in the mailbox. And if you're an engineer, even better because you can just drop a molly and do that. I just use my bank tune, I mail my stuff, and get it taken care of that way. Okay, so we're running back towards the dark portal now. And these mobs I know I didn't hit because I didn't run on that little island, right? So I pick them up, pick up the last few stragglers, and then the whole time you're doing this, while you're running in circles, it's stacking the mobs better anyway. So once you get them all stacked up, alright, so I'm done with the pull. The pull took me 7 minutes this time, mostly because I was talking, trying to get things situated. So what I like to do when I start the pull, before you even start the pull, make sure your wizard oil is on because it actually has a bit of a cast time. Jump off your mount, pop a couple flashlights, get up to full health, and get ready, right? Switch over to Devo Aura if you want to. You don't have to. Obviously, it's not going to make that big of a difference because if you mess up, you're going to die anyway. So we're waiting on them. We're going to wait till that first mob gets to us, and then we're going to bubble. And that way, they start swinging. And then you max rank consecrate. With the amount of spell power I have right now, you know, you can see it's doing between 90 and 95 for the most part. And it's doing well. So here, you wait till they turn the corner. As soon as they turn the corner, you drop the consecrate, and then you run. Run around, hug it. You don't want to hug it too close because you can get stuck. So where I like to drop the second conk, right there on that crack. Run, stutter, jump. The reason you stutter gives them just a little bit of a second to catch up to you. The crack, the reason I put the consecrate on that spot in particular is because they hit it going up and they hit it going down. Just about everybody I've seen do this farm does it the same way. They put the consecrate in the same general area. Sometimes you can't stop at the top there to let them catch up, depending on your timing when you start running over on the corner. It's not really that big a deal though. Just judge it. If the mob's close enough to melee you, don't stop. If the mob's not, do a little stutter, then jump off the edge. That way they can catch you and they eat more, right? And they're not all stacked all the way to the front, right? So if you get hit, you get hit, right? Like I got hit there, I took one melee, right? And that one mob that stopped to melee me took the time to stop to melee me, right? So he's stacked up better now. So it's just kind of how it goes. Got hit again there. So you're dropping low level conks in the back. You're dropping rank 1s. And then you're dropping rank 2s. And by rank 2s, I mean Mac rank. So we're dropping rank 5 on the stairs, right? Bang. And then we're just going to melt them down. It's going to take a while. The kill phase takes a hot minute. But as long as you're kind of following the same path every time and you're waiting the right amount of time, the mobs are just going to keep following you, keep following you, keep following you. It's really not that big a deal. Doesn't really take that long. It's just a little annoying sometimes, right? And if you're like me and you want to speed up the kill phase, I'll show you something you can do. So we're off of forbearance and we have bop, right? Still got 2 minutes left on Divine Shield, so that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here, going to wait, and then we're going to Blessing of Protection, and we're just going to burn down. Now, once we have a little less than 2 seconds, a little more than 1 second left on it, we're going to jump down so we don't take any hits, and then you're going to turn your Blessing of Wisdom back on, and you're just going to keep doing the same thing. So I'm just going to kind of focus on killing these for a little bit, and once I get to the part where they start to split, I'll start explaining a little bit better what's going on, and then we'll go over the gear and the talents, and then we will call it good. It's going to be a little bit of filler because, you know, obviously I'm going to leave this in here. Ha ha, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I will catch back up with you guys in just a second. So enjoy just watching me run around in circles for a bit here and trying not to die. Also, if you don't have enough MP5, you need mana potions. Use your mana potions. It's fine. Mana potions are great. We like mana potions. Right there I kind of messed up because I dropped my my first conch late. So conch wasn't off cooldown when I got on the steps. You know, you'll mess up sometimes. If you do, it's fine. Just keep doing the thing. You'll be perfectly fine. The big thing is your mana management. That's the hardest part of this when you got this gear, and we'll go over the gear at the end a little more thoroughly so you kind of see what you can do. You can literally do this with greens from the auction house. You can buy at level 66 and under, so there's no reason not to be doing this if you want a quick way to level from 66 to 80. The only or 70 rather. The only requirement is you got to do Old Hillsbrad Foothills to get attuned to Black Morass, and then start doing that trash. See right there, I told you you could get caught on the edges sometimes, and that's what happened. I got caught on the edge, and they were able to catch up to me. That just happens sometimes. I haven't been able to figure out the rhyme or reason. So if you do get that, don't panic. Just drop down, heal up, and don't worry about it. So right here, they start to split, right? So we got a bubble, and then we're going to let them stack on us. And then at this point, what you have to do is you have to start kiting them onto the same side. They can no longer keep up going around, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here, we're going to run to the other side, but then we're going to jump down and run back this way because it's going to kite them back towards us. And then now, since they're slowed, we're just going to keep dropping max rank. So I'm spamming my mana potion because I want to get it on cooldown or whatever. So we're going to put it on the stairs, we're going to run over here, we're going to let them run up through it. And the reason I do it this way is because the ones that run up to try to catch us have to run through it more than once, right? And the ones that run up to try to catch us are the mobs that have higher HP. So we want them to be getting hit more anyway. So we're just going to keep slowly kiting these guys. You can stutter step because, you know, they're not fast enough to catch you. It's not going to be a pain. So same thing, we're going to drop it on the stairs, run over here, wait on him to get close, jump down, run to the same side so they're getting cooked a little more, drop it, kite, kite, kite. We're just doing the same thing on repeat. And if you're having mana issues, obviously we're all going to have mana issues doing this, so you can kite them slowly around, slowly around, slowly around. And if you're you do not have to drop every conch. You can drop every other conch, right? Like, you don't have to do every one. You can also, to keep them in combat, just drop. See, I got a tarantula coming the wrong way. See, but to keep them in combat, you know, you can just drop. Okay, so we foobarred it. See, we went around too fast. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to kite them down this way, right? And this is the juggle spot used for mages. So we're just going to kite them down. We're going to let them walk through it. They're going to walk through it, right? They're dying, they're dying, they're dying, they're dying, they're dying. So we can just keep kiting them indefinitely now because we are confident that we pulled all the mobs that would be in the way, right? Now it's going to take a little longer to kill them because I can only drop rank 1 conchs right now, but you know, they are still dying. We're still getting full XP. Thing is, you have to keep things in combat long enough, right? Because if you don't, and you get to the point where you didn't keep them in combat long enough, then you are not going to get full XP. But as you can see, we got full XP on all the mobs. So I am going to do a quick loot real quick, and while I'm looting, we'll go over the gear, right? So what I did is I tried to find a couple of pieces that had spell power and MP5 on them where I could, and still got defense cap. The most important thing for me was to get to 440 defense so I could not be dazed. And I did that with just a few pieces of gear. So I got Blade Fist Breath from the Cruel's Intentions quest in Hellfire Peninsula. That's a big one. That's 26, right? This one, I feel like if I knew I was going to do this this quest line here and start doing these, when I was getting my Sporgar rep to get my Sporgar shield and did the quest in Underbog, I got this quest, or I got this item. I personally should have gotten the mana when they die, because that would make this infinitely easier. So if you're planning on doing this on your Paladin, when you do the Underbog's quest to turn in for Sporgar rep, get the mana restoration gem, not the health restoration mushroom, because it's going to help you out a lot in here, because once they start dying, your mana's low, you're like kind of in survival mode, and if you got better gear, you don't have that problem, right? But when you're doing this, you know, if you do have that, you're going to be a little better off. My rings are just spell power rings. One of them's from a quest, one of them's from Hellfire Peninsula. Get the two Hellfire Peninsula rings from the Citadel while you're leveling. Just do ramps until you get them. There's really no reason not to. I've got the Iron Soul Clompers also from Hellfire Ramparts, and the reason being, it's got big defense on it, right? And I got a gem for defense, and I don't have good defense gems in there either. So that being said, if you spend a little gold to put defense gems in there, or if you buy, say, a BOE that's got some gems in there, you can do that too. Just put defense gems in there, because the goal is 440 defense, and then you're good to go. So my pants, literal questing green from Hellfire. Spells and abilities by 16, 5 MP5, right? And I just pissed off him. He'll be okay. 29 defense on gloves, bought that from the auction house. 24 defense on bracers, bought that from the auction house. I did go out of my way to get the Diamond Core Sledge Mace from Blood Furnace. Look at this. See, I even missed some mobs. But I'll be able to show you how many mobs I got here in just a moment. The shield off the auction house, int stam, spell damage and healing, and your Libram doesn't even matter. So chest piece, 50 defense. This drops like candy. I actually got something to drop while I was doing the farm. It's great. Just go buy one, 50 defense. That'll get you higher where you need to go. And then my cloak could be much better, because this one doesn't have MP5 on it. It's got crit instead. So if you could get an MP5 cloak, go for an MP5 cloak. My shoulders, just really good stats. This is from the Underbog. I gemmed it for spell damage. Like, buy a green that's got spell damage on it with MP5. You'll be great. The neck, also, I'm pretty sure this one's from a quest, but there are similar things in the auction house. Int stam, spell damage and healing. You could buy something that has MP5 on it and be even better to go. And then 49 defense on helmet, because they're super cheap in the auction house. So as you can see here, I have 51 mana regen while casting, 115 while not casting. None of that is coming from my consumables, just from Blessing of Wisdom and my gear. Again, I got spell power consumables to help speed up the kill phase. I've got about 120 more than I would have, so I'd have 150 without the consumables. I did this in full spell power gear. The kill phase gets sped up a little bit, but you can get dazed. And when you get dazed, you die. So I'm not good enough to get to the kill phase after you get dazed. So I get dazed, I die. As you can see down here, opening of the Dark Portal, we killed 120 mobs, got 119,000 XP. A little bit of it was rested. You normally get about 80k. So you're looking at a 300,000 plus per run, which is making this one of the fastest ways to level your character at all. Anyway, hope you stuck around for the video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you around a little more. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get this ready for you guys. Come by the channel anytime you like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.